This video has been brought to you by Squarespace. Use the code to save 10% today. Sonic's had a rough life. One day you wake up to the thunderous roar of millions of fans across the world chanting your name. You put out major critical and popular hits left and right like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, maybe not this one. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and when it comes to clones, good old Sonic had all kinds of them. I've already talked at length about a bunch of the 2D ones like Freedom Planet, Kid Chaos, and Awesome Possum, everyone's second favorite kids recycling propaganda mascot. However, what happened when video games made the jump to 3D? We saw other mascots at the time successfully transition with their own subset of clones. Mario essentially kickstarted the 3D platforming collectathon genre, and Zelda, well, I mean, everyone tried to do the Zelda thing. I'll never forget Dual Hearts. But like any fall from grace, similarly to Guns N' Roses' Chinese democracy phase, no one really cared, but that doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, it seems like no one followed Sonic the Hedgehog into his world, and like, I don't really understand why that would be the case. This is a video I wanted to do a long time ago, but I literally had nothing to pick from unless we're talking fan games, in which there's like a million. And no, Sonic Dreams Collection does not count. But a few months ago, my wishes and dreams were finally heard in the form of a hot sequel, Spark the Electric Jester 2. Psst, I already talked about the original in this video here, so you can watch that first if you want.
Hey kid! What you doing watching this stupid film?
So yo, it's Austin, and I'm still hiding out. Turns out it wasn't the Dark Souls fans. I'll let you know what I figured out.
Hello.
Pardon the dust, or whatever this is. If anyone could mail me some Dunkaroos or something, that'd be great. But for now, let's talk about the literal one and only 3D Sonic clone I could find, Spark the Electric Jester 2. Spark 1 is like this neato, fast-paced Sonic Kirby hybrid. You move fast to the right, or sometimes to the left, in order to reach the end of a stage. Your power-ups can help you reach new shortcuts or do really powerful combo attacks against normal enemies or big-ass bosses. It looked visually slick, like a certain blue blur, and had a pretty dope soundtrack to boot. Now, I'm not sure why or what an Electric Jester is, or what Spark was fighting to regain his title of it back for, but I do know I liked it. I thought it was good. So how about a sequel? Do we just pump out a level pack and call it a day? Nope. We take one of the antagonists from the original, pull a shadow thing, and give him a fucking weapon to make a whole ass completely new assetted 3D Sonic clone. Cause why would we do the easy thing when we could do the cool thing? So this is Spark the Electric Jester 2, originally known as Fark the Electric Jester, because, well, you play as Fark, the robot who took Spark's job, I guess. After the events of the original, Fark Simpsoned off into the third dimension where his inspiration and source of power, Sonic the Hedgehog, hasn't had as much luck.
My bad.
Now look, I unironically enjoy the Sonic Adventure games. I feel like it's a case of you had to be there, man. When Adventure 1 came out in 1999 on the exact same day as Final Fantasy VIII, and you were comparing the actual gameplay, it was pretty ridiculous. You had Sonic here like, yo, yeah, running fast, up against Blockface here. Ugh. Whatever. However, the adventure games, and most of the 3D ones for that matter, haven't aged all that gracefully. I fall into the camp of, I didn't know these games were bad until I looked up Sonic on YouTube. Truly, the most relatable Sega Kid moment.
All right, now this video is gonna be a thesis video about why Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are cultural masterpieces. Part 1 of 15.
The reception of everything Sonic after this might be pretty mixed, but I'm here to say that developer Lake Feperd took the aging concept of 3D Sonic, hoisted it over his shoulder, and ran off with it, leaving a trail of the fattest gamer vape clouds anyone's ever seen. Yes, even bigger than the one your two college friends made at that League of Legends LAN party. Lake Feperd has a background of Sonic fan games, including Sonic after the sequel, so it wasn't a surprise to see him pick up the 3D mantle, but I wasn't expecting him to actually pull it off. Is Spark the Electric Jester 2 the first actual 3D Sonic clone, better than most, if not all, 3D Sonic games? Let's find out. Spark 2 opens with a midlife crisis. Well, for me anyway. I hit the start button and suddenly... oh, We're gonna do that, huh? Subtlety, what is it? I don't give a fark. Fark is reflecting on the events of the first game, pondering why he looks like the Formy, who ended up saving the day in the last game. Also, his name isn't Fark for real. That's just the super cool protagonist given name Spark called him. A fake jester. Hedgehog? Anyways, out of the blue, another fake jester pops out. Yo, we got like clones of clones going on in this bitch. From there, we need to go to rescue Dr. Armstrong by attending what else but Fark School. These opening cutscenes are kind of strange because there's no real audio going on. No music, no spoken dialogue or anything. Just suddenly, Jimmy jams. The tutorial is pretty quick and simple, but I need to put a big ol' asterisk all over the screen right now. If you're familiar with any of the 3D Sonics, in particular Sonic Adventure 2, this is gonna feel real familiar. It's to the point where for a split second, you're like, is this a mod? But then you start punching things and it's like, ah, okay, cool, a new game. I think, considering how clean and good Spark 1 felt, with 2 emulating the 3D variants, I was happy to see some of that gooey Hedgehog jank cleaned up. Although, Spark 2 feels a bit dated to play, albeit by design. It's like Lake Feperd was like, aight, let's triangulate the jank, recreate it with pinpoint accuracy, reduce the amount of falling through the world deaths, and here we go. So let's lay it down. Fark actually has a much larger moveset than good old Sonic. If you played the original or watched my video on it, you know that you have the ability to absorb weapon abilities and take them as a new melee moveset, like Kirby. Unlike his inspo, not every enemy in Spark 2 dies when you miraculously hover crash into them. You're gonna have to learn combo. Fark has a standard moveset, but he can hold 3 additional ones that you can switch between at the press of a button. In the original, you had a plethora of weapons like magic, hoverboards, and my favorite, edgy. Spark 2 lowered the overall amount of them, but you know, 3 dimensions. You got like a huge sword, a Kamen Rider outfit, Amy Rose mode, and of course, the return of Edgy. This time he does the Shadow the Hedgehog thing, with the whole shebang, all of it. Why not? However, Fark also inherits a lot of Sonic's abilities. Besides the whole run fast thing, similarly to the original Spark, you can also tap right trigger to get a little dash going. That's how you do this. You're gonna do this a lot. I mean, what can I say? It's basically a Sonic Adventure clone. Well, without the Chaos Emerald segments, Tails segments, Big the Cat, Robot, Amy, Open World. Oh wait, so it's basically everything Sonic fans wanted the series to be. Oh shit. Except, there's no Chows. The one thing we all want. While Spark the Electric Jester 2 might lack a bit of the variety that the 3D Sonic games have, that's totally okay with me and probably everyone else except for the 5 diehard Big the Cat fans. Rip in pieces, sweet prince. Look, it plays like Sonic Adventure 2.5 or something. What do you want from me? It didn't go in the direction of like Sonic Forces, Colors, or Generations where it on-rails you for a lot of the experience. There's a lot of slowing down for platforming, manually picking routes, and making tight jumps. You don't just press right bumper to quick dash right, you gotta go for it yourself. The on-rail nature that modern Sonic games have adopted might be an extreme spectacle, but it kind of destroys the replay value. You just kind of watch the same thing over and over. In Spark, you gotta like use effort and stuff. So maybe you fall off the cliff sometimes, maybe it's the jank's fault, maybe it's your fault, whatever, it's fine. But you know what Sonic Adventure doesn't have? A confusing story. Yeah, it does. So the narrative in Spark 2, like its predecessor, tries to be a lot. Beyond the initial identity crisis, which is your typical Mega Man X or Astro Boy thing, it kind of builds up into this destruction of the world plot for some reason. There's an organization that's out to stop you, led by Spark's fake robot. Its name is EJ, and it says vaguely questionable things. Where's the doctor? Yeah, I don't know, maybe inside your butt. There's a bunch of potentially melodramatic cutscenes hampered by a lack of audio, like the beginning, but there's also a couple of neat moments here and there as well. But hey, that's not what you're here for. You're here for this. Oh, they even cloned the music. Well, you got me there, video game. Spark the Electric Jester 2 set out to do one extremely specific thing, and I think it did a pretty good job of that. It feels like, at least in the gameplay, just like the original, Lake Feperd knows exactly how to emulate the feel and expand upon it without simply being a ripoff. However, similarly to the first one, Spark 2 isn't without a couple of issues. One of the major problems in 3D Sonic tends to be managing the length of the levels. Since Sonic worlds are designed to be tight and compact, they end up running short at times, but also having this irreplaceable spectacle. Who could forget running away from the giant orca or the truck, snowboarding down a huge mountain, or trying your best to scale a rocket only to use a piece of metal to surf out of there? You don't forget things like this. Unfortunately, Spark the Electric Jester 2 doesn't excel in this. While it may have captured the feel of the 3D Sonic gameplay, a lot of the level design leaves some to be desired. It has moments, absolutely, for sure. There's this level where you scale a massive space elevator, and if you take a second to smell the roses and look around, you can see just how big it is. Or if you fall off the side of the level, you can see the entire thing, and it looks awesome. But also, you fall for, like, ever. Any day now. A lot of the levels are visually obfuscated by the high amount of colors and things on the screen. A lot of worlds are just floating blocks in the sky, and when there isn't a cool set piece like a train or a space station, it becomes easy to get lost. Like the snow level here. Hello? At least a few of the levels have an early goal option, which is literally the pity button. Taking too long? Come in here, fake, smelly gamer.
And that's like the only really negative thing I have to say about Spark, because it was made by one person, you know? It's not like Awesome Possum, which was made by a team. A fucking team!
I'm awesome!
Any other issues I have can be boiled down to really dumb, nitpicky stuff. Audio mixing a bit crappy by default, solo indie game. It runs poorly in resolutions above 1080p, solo indie dev. Also, Unity, I guess. I just wish there were chows, but that's a pipe dream not even Sega cares about. I've said it before and I'll say it again, dude. Mobile chow guard in Sega, you listening? You will become the gamer kings and queens. After all, everyone knows that people only liked Sonic Adventure for the weird crying egg babies you could yeet. They got yoked. I don't remember this game running this fast. Yo, you ever gotta Google Sonic running too fast? While Spark the Electric Jester 2 may not be the best thing ever, it certainly has an extreme amount of character. After becoming a really big fan of Lake Feperd's work with the original, I'm really happy to see him pull something off that I thought was impossible. I feel like there hasn't been a truly quality 3D Sonic game since Generations, and to see a single person pull it off feels great. Maybe perhaps Lake Feperd is the Christian Whitehead of 3D Sonic of Dark Souls? I mean, of Sonic Adventure? Who knows? But what I do know is that Spark 2 is pretty dang fun. Is it gonna appease fans of 3D Sonic? Absolutely. If you don't like 3D Sonic, are you gonna like this? Probably not. If you're one of those people who says things like Sonic is and will always be bad, will you like it? Dude, I don't know. Maybe you just hate Sonic because of his freaky, all-seeing, double-irised eyeball. Ugh.
Well, okay, I gotta go now. You know, I'll get out of here someday.
Let's take a sec to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Now look, most of you guys aren't stuck in an attic hiding from gamers. Most of y'all are working on like building a brand, opening that sweet, sweet restaurant, or trying to get that sick demo reel out to the people. Squarespace is a powerful all-in-one website creation tool that you can use to get the job done. If you're any kind of business owner, you can try to understand your demographics using the traffic overview tools, so you can open that fan site you've always dreamed of. The built-in highly customizable templates will get you there in a jiffy. So if you're jonesing to create and you want something reliable, all-in-one and easy to use, check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to dive deep, go to squarespace.com/eruption to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring my channel, and thanks to everyone for watching. Sonic Gratitude Patreon shout out to Alfredo Ariano, Chris Shelton, Christopher Olivia, Donald Dowdy, David Molnar, Eli Shane Staufenecker, Flaming Fighter, Irrational, Jay Roos, James Rory, Jacoby Fitzpatrick, Josh Garbage Lord, Legend Gary, Nitron, Plasma Phoenix, Ronnie Vile, Shintaro, Superfly1787, and Vlad Lust. Thank you very much for your generous support. Why am I hiding? There are many answers. I will explain later. Subscribe? Subscribe? Oh!